Yeah, and of course they need, the communication between these teams. It's interesting to hear how our admins, it's easy for me to say, our Riot admins have been saying how these teams communicate. Some of them just shout like crazy, some of them are nice and calm. What would you normally take as the best approach? These bans are coming out thick and fast.
They are really prepared. I'd say the best approach is whatever works for you. Some teams work off adrenaline, some teams work off controlled soft voices. And let's look over here. Of course the Jace was banned away from Prawley because he was dominating on Jason day 1, didn't get to play it on day 2. Other than that, most of those bans seem fairly normal, except the Nunu ban coming up from Dirtnap Gaming, making sure Bloodwater can't play it, because he played nothing but Nunu when it's not banned.
Well, he is formerly of CLG Black, I believe.
Yep.
Bloodwater, that's where he came from. Chris, like you say, locking in that Shen, kind of a first pick standard right now, but this is a little bit different. We're seeing Nocturne and Lulu.
So the Lulu is what Bloodwater does if Nunu is banned. He played Nunu 3 times on day 1. It got banned twice on day 2, and he picked Lulu twice. So make that 3 as well. DJ Lambo also playing 3 Nocturne games to just 2 Amumu games. They're going with what they already know. I'm sure Dirtnap Gaming is ready for that because it's a small subset of games to pull from them. I'm sure they've done this research as well. Graves as well. That's been every game Graves.
Yeah.
For Echo on Dirtnap Gaming. So it's just a matter of these teams knowing what they're going to go up against, not really changing, and just going strong with it.
And this is sitting comfortable. I mean, this, like they just said, we just need to win 2 sets, but, well, they only needed to win 4 games yesterday. That's all that had to happen. It didn't happen for these teams, so the pressure, the nerves, it's all piled up. They're into the 3rd day of this tournament. They've been here every single day of the tournaments, and the pressure just keeps on mounting for these guys.
Yeah, League Championship Series, #LCS, could also stand, as X Special said, for Last Chance Sunday.
Last Chance Sunday, indeed. There's going to be Olaf and Ezreal locked in, so it's going to be Ezreal, Nunu. Is that going to be a switch lane? Are they going to go for that? They've got Olaf in there.
It very well could be. Nothing here has played a whole heap of 1v2 lanes in this entire tournament. It used to be with Cho'Gath. Olaf would be perfect for that, and it's great for them to pick Olaf away from Chris because he had played Olaf 4 games in a row before this.
And there we have Ari and Cho'Gath locked in there. So Cho'Gath probably, is this going to be top lane? This is going to be jungle Cho'Gath because Chris plays Shen top.
That's probably it. The only game this tournament we've seen Chris on Shen, he completely dominated. It was the home guard boots to go in with the Maokai initiation. He just zoom in once he stand united in. That's exactly what I'd expect. Jungle Cho'Gath for JD Wu should be really strong for him. He plays a lot of it in solo queue. He hasn't played it yet this tournament, but it's actually interesting that one of them has picked Cho'Gath because he's been the 3rd most played champion. Neither of these teams have picked or banned him the whole time.
Wow, so they have managed to rely on that one. You can see Rise was the final pick, chat. Take us through these teams. What are you seeing between Dirtnap Gaming and Azure?
So, for Azure, it's going to be about Demon Lull and Bloodwater. It's Demon Lull's job to kill everything, and that's the way that Azure plays this. Everything's going to be about supporting him. Nocturne Gang should be bottom. Everything should be trying to help him out. You look over at Dirtnap Gaming, and they have a very balanced team comp, so to speak. They have a tank line, they have a back line. They're just going to look for standard execution of team fights. They have good initiation and good disengage. It's a very normal comp.
Yeah, and it's interesting, before this tournament began, they were desperately looking for an AD carry. It was the last chance saloon. They found Demon Lull, who everybody thought had stopped playing. It's like you were asking, you were trying to get research on this guy. He's like, well, I don't think he plays anymore, does he?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't that social of a guy when he played League in the first place, when he was on Team Legion. But he was close with his own teammates, with Prawley and with Lauda Mortis. And I talked with both of those guys and said, is Demon Lull on a team? Because at this time he actually wasn't. And they said, I don't know what happened to that guy. Yeah, he went to finish high school. He said he was going to focus on it, and he hasn't been playing. Then we heard that Azure has picked him up because their AD carry couldn't make it, and he's just crushed. He hasn't missed a beat.
He hasn't missed a beat. He's been fantastic. You can see them on the screens behind us. The teams are ready. The nerves are probably jangling, I suspect. It is game 1, of course, of the North American Season 3 qualifiers. The Last Chance Sunday, as we call it. And you can see straight away on the screen behind us, there was a pause at the beginning, just sorting out the peripherals. Don't expect these guys to get the mouse, the keyboards. Everything's got to be right. Everything just has to be perfect for this. How do you practice? I mean, you've been to these tournaments. How do you set yourself up? You psych yourself up. You've got to get used to the conditions of being basically not in your own chair. I mean, everyone at home watching this right now, you're sat in your comfy chair that you've probably played thousands of games of League of Legends in. You're sat on a mouse and keyboard that you've used constantly. How do you make sure the conditions are exactly right for you?
Well, the nice thing about these machines is you can pre-save your settings for every time you jump in. So they've had 3 days, this is their 3rd day now playing on the same machines, that they should start to get their comfort level back on. Aside from that, you just try to make sure your mouse and keyboard are at the same height, and if they're not, just get used to them. You bring your own mouse and keyboard for one, and you make sure you're not on wireless, because that screws you up. But we're getting back into the game now.
Definitely do not go on wireless. So, if you just joined us, it is going to be Dirtnap Gaming, first game of the day versus Azure Gaming. Dirtnap Gaming on your screens there as the blue team and Azure as the red team in the top right-hand corner, chat. We have not seen a great deal of level 1 fights apart from Curse. Curse were the only team that said, you know what, we can invade and we will invade.
Actually, the first 2 games of the entire tournament with Azure, they went all 5 up into the top brush near the lane, which is actually kind of where 4 of them are going now. Not the one in there, but the one just to the left of it that would be able to sneak in for a delayed blue invade, but it appears with that ward that was placed over the Baron buff, Dirtnap Gaming's not going to allow that to happen. Yeah,
so we can see Dirtnap Gaming, they do get the wards down, and standard placing. Prophet's going to go very early in the ward there. He manages to place it down. I think everybody's quite happy, satisfied with that, and they're just going to back out.
Looks like the defensive formation's coming up for all of these teams. I wonder where or if they're going to do lane swaps, because you can see some posturing and some pinging. Looks like nothing here is ready to go up top lane. All 5 members of Dirtnap Gaming are prepared because 4 members of Azure are sitting straight on top of a ward, but Dirtnap Gaming is sitting on top of a ward as well. If they run for this, they'll know they're coming.
Minions have spawned.
Everybody sat there. Are they going to go? Is this going to be? I mean, they're all sat on both of them. They're just. It's like anyone that goes anywhere, they're going to know it. So neither team that leads the advantage. But we do see that Chris is down by the blue. So we do have a lane swap already signified for Dirtnap Gaming here.
And if anything gets the advantage off of both teams standing straight on top of wards, this is just a standoff. It's 2 minutes into the game.
It's a late invade for Dirtnap Gaming.
Neither team wants to move.
They are. Are they going to go? Yeah, we're 2 minutes 3. The minions are fighting in the middle right now. Nobody is actually attacking. It is a really, really late invade here from Dirtnap Gaming. They're going for it. They're going around to the red buff, but they are well aware of this. And you can see everybody's set up, ready and waiting. They've just put the ward on the red there. I think they heard the ward go down.
Both teams got scared, essentially, after that. They realized that there's no way they'd wait that long without them having vision of us. And I think they both just kind of figured it out in their heads that both of them ended up being sat on top of ward the entire time. Finally, DJ Lamb was going to be able to take his red buff, but everyone in this game is going to be a little bit behind, aside from Chris's Shen, who got to lane in time.
And JD Wu's going to have to take a lot of damage here. He's going to have to use the smite on that blue, or he's going to get incredibly low. There's the smite goes down. He's just picked up the blue. So, Prolly versus Shouster in the mid here. Ari versus Rise.
This is a counter pick in essence. Rise, especially late game, is extremely good against Ari. You throw that Rune Prison down, and you stop Ari from being mobile. She's usually pretty squishy. You can just burst her down in those instances. In the early lane, Ari can shove Rise back, so it's on Shousters to keep himself going so he can take over from Prolly late game.
So the top lane is a duo lane right now between the two. You can see Echo Prophet on Graves and Sona. He's played Graves the entire tournament, I think. Demon Law and Bloodwater. Demon Law got the pentakill on Ezreal, I recall, earlier on in the tournament as well. How do you compare these two?
I mean, Demon Law has played 4 different AD carries in his 5 games, but by far his best game was on Ezreal, so it's good that they got him on that pick once again. He needs to carry. They're going to want to dive him. He's got to stick there. As for the lane, I got to give the slight advantage to Dirtnap Gaming. Sona is going to be able to out-sustain Lulu, and they both have similar poke. Since it's not a 2v1 kind of super lane shove, Lulu loses her slight advantage in that case.
Well, down the bottom, it is going to be nothing here versus Chris. That is Olaf versus Shen. We do also see the jungler was close by, but he's going to go off to the red buff, so no ganks coming out there, and Shadow Dash immediately missing out towards nothing here, but you can see the burst back and forward. How's that going to transcend between the levels? We do see DJ Lambo just waiting in the wings on Prolly here as well. Just going to wait and see if he goes for anything. No. So let's go back to bottom and talk about that.
I almost might have Voyboy goggles on here, but I feel like Olaf has been destroying in most of this tournament. I think, at least in the early lane, that's good for him as they fight.
Echo getting caught out there. He's had to use the flash and the cleanse. There's going to be the flash from Prophet as well. So bunch of summoner spells all burnt out there. Echo did get the bookshot back, but immediately that's going to open them up for ganks. And you can see DJ Lambo, he is in that top lane ready and waiting. He may go for this one. But yeah, Chris has kind of had a struggle, but he's been strong on Shen. DJ Lambo is going to sneak into the bush in this top lane.
Yeah, and with both flashes burned for Echo and Prophet, all DJ Lambo would have to do is flash on top of Sona and get a Fear Tether, and it would guarantee a kill. So if he can sneak into that next brush and just be patient, they would get a kill in this lane. It's just a matter of how cautious Dirtnap Gaming is going to be, and if they're going to allow Nocturne to get in flash range. because of the size of the wave and because it's pushing the tower, DJ Lambert decides it's not worth his time.
It's not worth it. He's got the Siege Minion there. And really, they're just going to try and keep them away from the Siege Minion. And now that we're in Season 3, you know, that Siege Minion, the fact that it's at 40 plus gold, look at that, Chris
Oh, he
just
missed
getting
it!
smashed down. And that's what he was doing. He's just forcing him away from that Siege Minion.
It's like a mini game because it's worth twice as much as a regular minion. You miss the Siege Minion, you're just like, wanted that. But he couldn't get it, and he's getting beaten pretty bad here by Nothing Here in the bottom lane, 35-22. That's one of the things about Shen. He actually isn't that much of an early game lane bully, and he really needs to wait until he gets that health to maximize his key strike, his passive scaling with max health. He's got to get Sunfire Cape and pretty much a Warmogs before he can think about fighting Nothing Here.
And he keeps trying to go for those max length shadow dashes. He's not quite landing, trying to catch him within tower distance. But Prolly, meanwhile, in the mid lane, he has a slight CS advantage over Shouster, over so slightly though. How do we see between the first items that everybody picked up? We see a bunch of Crystalline Flasks. We see a Philo Stone early on as well. Oh, Rupture down the bottom there, catching on towards Nothing Here. Gets the Ignite down. It could well be first blood here. JD Wu just wants one more hit. Chris, could he go for a full length shadow dash? Will he escape? He's going to go for it. He is going to get it. And that was Chris that picked it up. I think JD Wu was kind of holding off. It's like, are you going to get this kill or not?
Chris really didn't want to have to burn his flash to finish off Nothing Here, but in the end, he realized he was going to escape unless he did. He made sure he had enough energy for his Vorpal Spike when he flashed in, and they were able to secure a kill. That was a well-timed gank by JD Wu. He realized Nothing Here was pushing up, being a little bit over-aggressive, and he punished him for it. We saw a lot of this yesterday, actually, when the solo laners were getting pushed to the lane. Early on, junglers came and camped, waited for them to get over-aggressive, and maybe that'll swing that bottom lane.
We see the ultimates now available for the two mid laners.
Ooh, Chris has Home Guard boots and his ultimate up right now. They might try for some kind of crazy gank. He's just sitting on his base, waiting to ult in on something. He really wants to go with Ahri for a tower dive.
Okay, they're going to go up towards the top. Meanwhile, Giant Spell down the bottom. Here we go. Stan United coming in from Prolly. He's going to come dashing in, straight in towards the tower. Oh, he shot his load far too early.
They just smelled it coming, it seems. Ahri was missing. They thought maybe it was going to be a three-man game coming up top, and Demon Law and Bloodwater just preemptively went away.
Well,
that's a lot burn for not much.
That was a lot burn, and that was simply a case of, we saw that Prolly had gone towards the top there. I mean, Prolly didn't really need to be there, but they have still got the four-man stack at the top, but they are going to back off, and that was, like you say, Stan United burn.
They were hoping to get the Stan United in without vision. I think that's why they decided to come in for it, but just great preemptive backing, as now you see a four-man shove up mid by Azure, and I don't know if Dirtnap Gaming can hold this. This could be the first turn of the game.
This is a great response from Azure as well. They knew that something was coming, and they've immediately reacted to it, knowing that everybody would back off. There's a Rupture across everyone. You expect the silence to hit everyone as well. It does, but they had all backed away. Wave was cleared, and it's a good clearance method, and it means that Dirtnap Gaming are going to get the first tower.
Good push up top by Dirtnap. I mean, I guess the Shen ult with the Ahri roam did end up paying them a tower. Even though it just forced them back, it didn't give them the kill, but it did create the pressure, and the early kill up top. We got to see where Sona goes next, as we see JD Wu invading red.
JD Wu comes around. DJ Lambo managed to smite it away there. The smite fight wasn't going to happen. He didn't have smite available. He did have Fiso, which is why JD Wu was coming around. Didn't happen, though.
Surprising that JD Wu hasn't went for boots yet on Cho'Gath. Oftentimes we see these Cho'Gaths rush boots mobility.
Probably ulti. Gone in towards Shouster, tries to put the damage down, gets the Ignite, trying to force him away from the turret. They've got a four-man stack on this turret, Jat, and there's nobody really around to react to this one. They have a two-man defensive team, but Shouster's already at half health. They're just trying to hit the minions as quick as they can. They're burning down the turret. Prolly's tanking it up. You can see Echo, he could do a little bit more damage, backs away.
So both of these teams have traded four-man stacks in the middle lane, trying to get as much middle turret damage as they can. Looks like Dirtnap Gaming got a little bit more than Azure did on their push. Now I think they're just going to go back up top and try to stop Demon Lull from farming, because that's going to be the key. Keeping Demon Lull down so he can't kill everything as he wants to do.
Probably just going to pick up the blue buff, but he needs to come back and try and defend this mid-range turret. You can see that JD Wu's also going to come around. He should be able to clear out this wave. It has got the Siege Minion in there, though, so there's a bunch of damage going to come down. JD Wu is going to be the bully and force them away. Prolly's going to pick up the gold. Missed the key minion, though.
And will they be able to do anything in this bottom lane? When you rush the Home Guard boots like that, you're really giving away a lot of combat ability, because you can see Nothing Here's got 1,700 health.
Top lane.
Chris only got 1,100.
They're going in, they're trying to get on towards Echo. They do manage to get the squirrel on him, but Demon Lull immediately exhausted. Oh, Prolly, Echo's down. Echo is down. Beautiful. Caught him with the Tree Shot Barrage. Can turn this into a double kill. Bloodwater comes in, takes the tower hit. Demon Lull picks up a double.
This got to put his team on his back and just go for it because he has been the reason they've won the 2 games that they have won this tournament. There's a gank mid with
Mid lane on
Shousters.
towards Shouster. He's going to get caught out. It's JD Wu that picks it up after a nice chomping feast down on him. He's going to be happy with that one.
It's a matter of Shousters still trying to farm, even though his turret had been taken down in the mid lane. Really just got out-roamed by the bootless Cho'Gath, so really good positioning by JD Wu. We know that Prawley joined this team, Dirtnap Gaming, because he loves JD Wu's jungling style, and he says it's very hard for him to find a jungler that he actually likes. It's one of the reasons they like each other there.
It's one of the reasons he came in, and Prawley farming out quite happily. He's now 10 CS ahead. He will pick up the siege minion, and now he's going to head off seemingly round towards the blue. He's going to probably ward that one up. He has got a ward on him. So, yep, he's going to ward out towards the blue. Realizing, of course, he's taken that mid turret down, so taking a lot of advantages down, starting to set up for a possible dragon later on.
And they could also be setting up for a possible kill on Echo and Prophet, knowing that they have both of those. Oh, here comes the Shen ult and Prawley.
Stan United on towards Prawley. He uses his ult on towards DJ Lambo. Chris is going to go across, misses the taunt though. Stan United was used to get into this position. Of course, the home guard boots would have been available as well, but it doesn't matter. They are all just going to back away from this one. The duo lane had come down to help out, and now here comes nothing here. He picks up one. There's going to be the True Shot Barrage flashing across the 2 of them. Can Shouster manage to land the Broom Prison on towards JD Wu? No, they're going to back away. They realize that collateral damage was available. Echo had just come down as well as Crescendo.
And this is a sweet spot for DJ Lambo on Nocturne, even though he doesn't have health. No one has flash to get away from his paranoia if he decides to gank a lane with it. As it is now, though, everyone on Dirtnap Gaming is low. They're going to have a hard time holding this turret.
They're going to have a hard time indeed. It's a 4-on-4. They need to wipe out those waves as quick as possible, which they are doing. That turret is still low enough, but they're not really at the level. We're still only at level 6 and 7s, so nobody can really tank the turrets out yet.
Appears though that turret will live for another day. There's a large wave up top that Azure Gaming has to go clear out. They're going to make sure Demon Low gets more and more farm. He's going to be their hard carry, and you can already see how well he's been working together with Bloodwater this game.
Yeah, he's just the boots ahead at the moment. Of course, we do see the Crystalline Flask was picked up by Echo. Demon Law didn't go for that. Instead, he chose to go for the standard pots, but it's going to be Dirtnap Gaming go for a dragon.
Yeah, and you can see Bloodwater and Demon Low both went up top to farm a pushed-in wave. Bloodwater really didn't need to follow Demon Low up there. That allowed Dirtnap to go straight for that dragon. Really nothing Azure can do about this one.
Shouster's going to come around. They want to try and get a gank on that top lane, but they're simply not there. They've just been to get the dragon, so Shouster puts the ward in the tri-bush, and Demon Lol and Bloodwater are going to continue pushing that top turret. So, if they get a turret out of it, well, it may counter a little bit the fact that they did just lose that free dragon, but as it is, you can see Probably stood on top of a ward.
They want to go in, nonetheless, 2-0 here, but he has his Ragnarok up, and Nocturne be there for Paranoia gank as well.
JD Wu getting caught out, taken down very low. Nothing here. He's going to pop his Ragnarok. He's going to try and get onto him. So if he does catch him with one more axe, there's another. Should get the slow. There's the kill, but will he pay for it with his life? The rest of the team going to respond to it. Nothing here does go down. They're going to turn back on towards DJ Lambo. No, Chris is on there, but Shouster's coming down. Shouster should force them away, and he does indeed. The pings were strong enough, and they backed off.
Good awareness. It was a really long time since Shousters had walked through a ward, but they knew he was going to be coming there, especially with the way DJ Lambo was coming back. So a really good play there by Azure, turning a 2-on-3 into a 1-for-1 trade.
So the items starting to stack out. We do see the mid lane. Shouster's going to pick that one up. That's going to pull the turrets all square, 2-2 apiece, and the gold will just slightly hedge towards Azure Gaming. It's still very close, so 300 gold between the two.
Really want to see how this develops as they get more and more farm onto Demon Lull and Nothing here. We saw yesterday once Void Boy got a little bit fed on his Olaf. He really just 1v3'd, 1v4'd, 1v2'd, turned into a giant monster. And I want to see if he can do that again in this game and just go right on top of Echo, because Echo's struggling a little bit in that lane. He's 600 gold behind Demon Lull and farm, and Graves doesn't have the best dueling potential against Olaf until really late.
But I would say the same for Shouster. He's just waiting up to try and get in that catalyst by the looks of it. Just trying to save up, or is it the Tear of the Goddess I think he's missing actually?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Needlessly Large Rod already been picked up, and he's still got 1100 gold in his pocket, so well on the way to that Rabadon's death cap now, probably.
We'll see if he's going to be rushing that at him. I'd almost expect a DFG. I haven't really seen anyone go straight death cap almost all tournament. They'll usually build some other somewhat defensive item in between, especially when he has to dive in straight onto Rise. As we see maybe a gank bottom, but Nothing here's got everything up.
Nothing here, just walks back away from there. Yeah, like you say, he has got the Ghost and Ragnarok available, so he can just stroll away. Looks like it's going to be Shouster getting the blue buff, much needed as well. He's got 0 mana, so Lambo's going to have to tank this one up as much as possible. They do ping it, they see him with the wards, but not really going to go towards it. It's the slowest blue kill ever known to man at level 9. Slowly but surely picks it up when it gets the final basic attack.
And he's been hurting on that Rise. Oftentimes, especially yesterday when Nijaki played Rise, you want to get the Tear of the Goddess as soon as possible so you can start stacking it up and do damage with your extra mana. When you start Catalyst like that on Rise, you put yourself in a little bit of a hole as they chase down onto Chris
They
bottom.
chase down, there's the flash used. He has got Shadow Dash still available any second now. Chris is just going to Shadow Dash towards the turret. He's managed to save that. Waiting for the fear, I think he was, to come out from Lambo, but it didn't happen. So the two AD carries, it's a 2-0 versus a 0-1. They both have about equal farm, but it is both Bloodthirsters, both seemingly building the same way, just 500 gold between the two.
Yeah, the differentiation in the build will come in the next item. I'd expect Demon Lord to go for a static Shiv so he can get some extra wave clear and apply greater pressure across the map with Ezreal. As for Echo, he should be going with the Phantom Dancer because Graves has good wave clear already, but I've seen people do both all weekend.
So Sunfire Cape almost built on Chris. Seemingly the same will come out for nothing here. Probably a Warmogs actually maybe as well. 2 Ruby Sightstones already fairly early on here for the two. 16 minutes into the game. Philo Stone though is going to help out for Bloodwater.
They're going to try to use those wards to just completely cover up the map, stop the ganks from happening. You can see now that the supports are in more of a roaming role, they can get all 3 wards out at the same time efficiently, as opposed to just being stuck in lane. You usually don't want to upgrade from your Sightstone to your Ruby Sightstone until your lane has really kind of ended, otherwise it's inefficient.
So we're seeing a 4-man stack from Azure at the moment going down the middle lane. So let's see whether that's going to go anywhere. We do see Prolly coming around, and they are going to try and collapse in on nothing here. There is no wards, so maybe they could come for it, but Azure are well aware of this. They are ready and waiting, looking to see if they get any advantage. Blue buff is not going to be up for a while because we already saw Shouster taking that epically long time to try and pick it up. As it is, Dirtnap Gaming going to head down. I believe Dragon is due. I can't see the timer though, so I didn't actually catch when they first picked it up. Probably stood on top of a ward. The rest of the team are going to collapse around him here.
They are definitely posturing around this dragon. I'd almost expect Chris to go back to base fairly shortly after this tower push so he can get the home guard Stand United in for some kind of initiation. Probably's really baiting to try to get some kind of charm and then go in, because with that Deathfire Grasp on Ari, he would be able to burst someone down immediately. Everyone on Azure running down, trying to stop that turret push. Also, Bloodwater, really big pickup there, has an Oracles right now. They really want control of this dragon and this area.
That's a pretty early Oracle there as well. 40 seconds
Really
for the dragon. You can see it on your screens. Dirtnap Gaming position themselves. Chris has not gone back, so he's not going to use that gimmick right now. Hasn't got flash available though. Wards go down. Instead, they're just going to choose to stack up on this bottom turret. They realize that nothing here maybe has gone back.
Thing is, nothing here does have a teleport, so if they get into any kind of extended fight, they'd be able to run straight for it. He's teleporting in right now, actually, behind the team.
Teleports in, there's going to be the Paranori. He went on towards Prolly. Prolly has been caught out completely apart from the team. Tries to use his ultimate, but Crescendo does catch him out, and there comes Nothing Here, finishing him off. Now they're on towards Prophet. Nothing Here has been taking the damage. Stand United was used. Bloodwater comes steaming through, pops his ultimate, throws everyone in the air, and that's a double kill for Demon Lol now. They're going to try and turn this one down. DJ is going to be DJ Lambo going down. Echo, though, is now in trouble. Demon Lol getting so aggressive. The rest of the team desperately trying to keep up with him, and that is going to be a successful turnaround for Azure Gaming and a turret.
That's the risk for Prolly when you rush a needlessly large item like Deathfire Grasp and don't build any defenses. He got caught up in a rune prison from Rise, and then he got polymorphed by Bloodwater's Lulu, and he didn't get to participate in that fight. From there, it was a 4v5 for Azure, and they just steamrolled through the rest of Dirtnap Gaming, picking up the fight win and the dragon.
And Nothing Here, he went back to base, picked up the Warmogs. In you came with a teleport. It's like, I'm definitely going to take the front-loaded damage.
And that was super scary for them. They pretty much just had to turn tail and completely run away. Echo wasn't really a part of that fight. It was all about Demonol just cleaning up as he's now picked up a static Shiv and put himself pretty far ahead of everyone else in the game.
Yeah, 4-0-1. Another Warmogs being picked up, this time by DJ Lambo. So stacking out those Warmogs, as we have seen throughout this tournament.
It's been everywhere. Everyone builds the Giants builds item. It's almost like it's like this for a lot of items, obviously. Whoever has more gold is more has a bigger advantage. But Warmogs, it seems, almost excessively so. If you rush Warmogs as your first item, you pretty much just joke around with the other team until they can multiply their damage. Having 2 of them makes me feel like Azure Gaming's going to be able to bully something hard here and just start invading Dirtnap Gaming, almost daring them to fight. At least that's what I expect them to be doing next.
So it is 3-3 in turrets, all square in that sense. And, well, just 2,000 gold between the two teams, 7-4 in kills. First game of the day here at the Season 3 North American Live Qualifiers. It is day 3. It is Last Chance Sunday. Hashtag LCS, or League of Legends Championship Series, whichever you would prefer, of course. And there we are, fighting for one last spot. That's all that's remaining for Season 3. Oh, Demon Lol nearly stealing the blue buff there with the True Shot Barrage. Probably does pick it up, though.
That was really good timing by Dirtnap Gaming, making it into the blue buff there, because they're behind. They would not win a team fight if Azure Gaming would have been there to stop them. They realized that was a moment where everyone on Azure had been back to base, however. They went in and took their objective.
They went straight in for it. So, how are they going to level themselves out here? 21 minutes gone, fairly even in gold. As it stands, it seems that Azure have the slight edge when it comes to a team fight. What are Dirtnap Gaming going to do to turn that? They need to kind of get some sort of ideal initiation.
They almost need to fish for charms with Prawley's Ahri. They need to kind of wait around, hope they can catch one guy a bit out of position, and then just go from there. If they can be the ones who initiate and Prawley actually gets off his combo in a team fight with his Deathfire Grasp, they'll get a 4v5 of their own. Unlike the 4v5 against them when Prawley got cut out, it's really about the initiation for both of these teams.
It's the right time for them. Well, actually, Echo was thinking he might be able to take them down with the smoke there, but didn't manage to hit the last 3 minions. Didn't quite have as much damage as he thought. He did go for that Bloodthirster first line. Has got the Zeal now. What sort of items are they going to stack towards? Are we going to see identical builds between the two AD carries?
I'm thinking they're going to be similar. I mean, Echo still hasn't decided whether he's going for the Static Shiv or the Phantom Dancer, but Demon Low's already decided he's going for the Static Shiv. After this, I'd expect them to go for Last Whisper, unless we see something kind of crazy. I mean, last time Dirtnap Gaming was ahead in a game, Echo built a Warmogs, actually. I wouldn't expect that to happen this game, as they're a little bit low on damage and they have to worry about it right now. I'd expect fairly similar builds from both AD carries, yeah.
We also get boots and mobility, of course, on Cho'Gath, but along with a second Ruby Sidestone. So really going to get a good ward coverage here, which is probably why we saw Bloodwater with the Oracle early on.
And it also adds to Dirtnap Gaming's strategy here, which is going to be to try to get picks. They need to catch people out of position, and the fact that they can cover with 6 permanent wards, really just spam, move the wards with their team unit, since they can store up 5 with those Ruby Sightstones. They're going to be looking to land Ruptures if they catch someone out of position, or Charms if they catch someone out of position, even Taunts from Chris. But if they have complete coverage of the map, that also gives them more knowledge for when Chris should home guard, stand united in, and try to initiate a fight if they can catch Azure off-man.
See the balls coming out from Prawley, making sure he farms up every part of that wave, keeping it pushed. So let's have a look across the farm, across the board. We did have the duo lanes kind of separating themselves on the top there. It's 168 to 180, but of course that 401, big difference for him. The mid lane, 167 to 148, again, very close, but the assist gold for Shouster, probably stacking that one out. Oh no, not quite, not quite. That one kill he's got has turned that edge a little bit there, just 600 gold ahead. Of course, the duo lane, the single lanes, 6,600 to 7,200, and that equates to 140 to 151 CS, but of course those 3 kills for nothing here is definitely helping him out so far.
I gotta say, Shousters hasn't had the best game on Rise, but Demon Lull and Nothing Here are making up for it. The fact that he could never get that Tear of the Goddess means he's never really gonna reach Rise's maximum damage potential. He's always had to play defensively this entire game. He's more of an initiator / help for killing Ahri than he is the huge DPS damage source that we can see from other people.
Nothing Here has been spotted. The pings go down. They've warned him to try and back off. Here comes Prawley. He does try and get the charm. It's going to be Ragnarok. No, he hasn't used it. He's just popped the Ghost. He's saving Ragnarok. Nicely done there. And that's going to be the Paranoid chopped on towards JD Wu. JD Wu caught out there. There's going to be the Rune Prison down. Shouster's going to be the damage. Stand United was coming in. Does manage to catch out and saves the day. That also means, though, the gank down the bottom is going to backfire because it's only Prawley that's gone on towards Nothing Here.
And it was ult for ult and Ghost in the bottom lane. In mid lane, it was pretty much a big win for Azure. JD Wu's going to have to go back. He's very low, and they burn the Stand United. A little bit of pressure created for Azure Gaming, but not much huge advantage gained.
Interesting, funny point by that Stand United. Loudermorn is cancelled it accidentally or somehow.
Well,
when Kha'Zix jumped into the Baron pit.
Kha'Zix died so fast.
And the team completely went, Kha'Zix, why did you jump in so early? But Laudamonis was meant to be using the Stand United way before. and then Laudamonis just like, yeah, why did you do that?
Yeah, that guy is just crazy.
That guy's crazy, but as it stands, we are covering Dirtnap Gaming versus Azure here. The Charm lands across nothing here. He has got Ragnarok still available because he didn't use it down the bottom there. DJ Lambo backs off as it is. JD Wu's going to come in.
Oh,
Lands
wow.
a rupture. 4 members. Crescendo across 4 members. Oh my god, they just blitzed down Azure Gaming. Bloodwar's going to have to flash through. Is anyone going to have to flash to follow? No, he is going to get an escape there. And it is a 2-for-0. Fantastic rupture.
Rupture into taunt into Crescendo, and absolute obliteration of Azure Gaming's team right there. That's kind of what they were waiting for. They needed to get... I thought they were going to try to initiate on 1. They initiated on 3 or 4 absolutely perfectly. Now it's going to be about them trying to get Baron. Azure Gaming went back to base. They're trying to heal up as fast as possible. Nothing here was sticking around despite having teleport. This is going to be a really close Baron battle, I think.
It's going to be very close. Nothing here is just going to keep poking back and forward. DJ Lambo's ultimate is not available, so he can't paranoia into the Baron pit. You can see him slowly edging towards there. He has got Smite available. Will he be able to get there in time? The Baron down to 3,000 hit points already, and Nothing Here realizes he's going to have to try and get in. They turn on towards Nothing Here. Pops the Ragnarok. He's trying to get on towards Prophet. Oh, the True Shot Barrage came across, but he wasn't close enough, and it's actually Prophet that picks up the kill. Now Lambo comes in. The Baron is still alive. It's on 1,500 hit points, so it's not smiteable just yet. DJ Lambo now has Paranoia available any second. They've picked up the Baron. They're turning in, but the rest of the team's coming in time. Christo taking the brunt of the damage. It doesn't matter. Demon Lol is the next target. They're going to try and chase down. Echo is taken down very low. Echo gets dropped as well. Demon Lol was taken down at the back. Chris now turns back on towards it, and it's kind of a tank and a tank versus an AP carrying a support, and Chris is going to have to get out of this one. He manages to shadow dash straight into the blue pit. He should escape to victory, but as it stands, it's very close between the two. They did pick up the Baron though, Jat. Oh, he's going to get caught out. Chris is going to get caught. He is going to get taken down. Shoutout, he'll take him down. One last hit there, and that actually is a successful defense by Azure Gaming.
One man still has a Baron, and it's a giant Battlecast Cho'Gath. But aside from that, Dirtnap Gaming, before the flurry of events, did seem to be losing. Now they feel a little bit more in control. They got the gold from the Baron, and the gold from the 3 kills they picked up on the Baron, and the 2 kills they picked up before the Baron fight. Still a really good net positive for them. Catch up by Echo, confidence for Prawley, Aegis for JD Wu, still really good moves by them pulled.
Very good moves, and that makes this game much, much closer. The Dragon is available, and I wonder if everyone's going to pile in there. And looking towards the minimap, and I can see everyone heading straight towards it. Nothing here going in there. Azure Gaming have already leashed it out. They don't, of course, have... the tank. Oh, actually, you tell a lie. JD Wu is in there. He's in the front line. That's going to Stand United. They're caught to short. Shouster's going to get dropped instantly. Probably, though, caught heavily out there. True Shot Barrage came across, and Shouster managed to get a burst of damage. They're going to leash out the Dragon. JD Wu should be able to tank this one. He's just waiting his opportunity to land the perfect rupture. You can see him just biding his time. And that's going to be the Shadow Dash straight in there. They're going to catch the Taunt Demon Law off the back there. That's going to be Paranoia on towards Prolly. They're going to try and drop Prolly. They do get Prolly down. DJ Lambo picking up the 1 kill. Meanwhile, you can see Nothing Here now on towards Echo. That's going to be the Crescendo across though. And Nothing Here will get dropped off by the Feast. Straight away, Demon Law, the next target they turn. They get Demon Law down. DJ Lambo will be the final one, and Bloodwater just has to escape with his life, but Chris is keeping him occupied. This is going to be an ace for Dirtnap Gaming. The Shadow Dash will come through. Bloodwater gets dropped. They turn to the Dragon. Beautiful fight for Dirtnap Gaming.
It all started when Chris Homeguard teleported in to pick off Shellsters. Then the 4v5 began. It looked like Azure Gaming was going to be able to take that one, but Prophet's Crescendo on Sona completely turned the tides of that fight. He hit it on everybody, shutting down their damage for 2 seconds. The Warmog's rush finally didn't work out. You know, they haven't been able to crush them down long enough. Echo's been doing enough damage. They're landing really good ruptures and crowd controls together. They're comboing their CC. These fights are very condensed. It's allowing the crescendos and the ruptures and the silences and the taunts to really get team shutdown for them. And now Dirtnap Gaming seems to have turned it completely around.
And from a fight like that, I mean, is that simply a case of bloodlust? I'm not sure what it was. Because to me, as soon as Shouster got caught out, everybody from Azure just said, yep, okay, we're 4v5. We've just lost one of our main AP carries. We got to back out.
You would think that, but the fight was looking so good for the most part. No one was touching Demon
course,
and he
Shasta
was
again.
just hitting everyone.
They've come in, they've got the silence, though the Rupture caught onto him as well.
He's dead.
But he's only one person down there. Prolly comes in, and he does manage to get the kill. Meanwhile, you can see them shoving in the middle now. Prolly's going to head across there. JD Wu's going to push the bottom lane.
And that is a complete glass cannon build on Prolly. He's at 360 AP already. Deathfire Grasp into Rabadon's Death Cap, no defensive items, so if he gets caught out in the slightest by a Rune Prison or a Polymorph, he's done. But in situations like that, where they can initiate, JD Wu and Prolly destroyed a quite tanky Shouster's Rise.
He is staying well out of the fight this time, and actually probably was the focus of that fight, but again, like he's mentioned, he just ulted the hell out of there, tried to get deep, and that caught DJ Lambo because he paranoid onto him and went straight deep in there. The rest of the team followed through. Great crescendo, as you mentioned earlier on. Chris, now, and he's really come back from this one because he was kind of getting bullied in lane, wasn't he? But now he's picked up that 5-2-8, 5 kills to 8 assists, and that's just given him such a big build advantage now. He's built it right up when he was struggling so much.
Yeah, he's now pulled about 500 gold ahead of his lane mate. Nothing here. And this is what we see with Shen. You get the Warmogs in the Sunfire Cave, and you become a huge force to be reckoned with. No one can actually 1v1 him out of a lane. They can only kind of hold him off at this point. So this is really going to allow Dirtnap Gaming to pick their spots as the game continues.
You just saw the charm flicking out from Polly there, seeing if he could try and pick someone off. JD Wu returning back to the middle. Profit so far has landed some very, very good crescendos. Echo has been one of the major targets. They're diving in towards them. And actually, they've just defended it so well. As it is, they're going to push it towards this middle turret. Nobody, of course, only the Baron will have run off there. True Shot Barrage flashing past. Didn't really catch anyone. Prolly's going to get dived on. He gets the Rune Prison down. Prolly is going to get dropped. Let's see how this one works out. Azure Gaming now with a slight advantage. DJ Lembo taking out very well. Again, the crescendo lands across them. But as it stands, Stan United finally coming in at the moment. We're just waiting to see where the heck he is. He comes around the back. Chris does manage to come around. They can't take down Shouster. JD Wu's now the focus of target. He is very tanky. Bloodwater seems to be the target. Nothing here should get the killer towards JD Wu. No! The Rupture comes in. That's a double kill for Chris. Now he's going to go towards Demon Lol. Demon Lol hanging off in the side there. As soon as he gets spots, I expect a max range Shadow Dash from Chris here. You can see Demon Lol purposely trying to keep away. They go towards Demon. Nothing here. And another Rupture comes out. The silence as well. JD Wu just keeping at range. But Demon Lol's going to try and come around the side. He catches on towards JD Lol. Profit though, he's trying to go 1v1 with Demon Lol. That's a crazy, crazy thing to do. Now Profit's in trouble.
Oh my
Demon Lol picks up the double kill, and would you believe it, back and forth, Demon Lol still survives, and nothing here, and Chris are just like, you know what, nobody's going to win this fight, we're going to back away.
Demon Lol stuck around that fight for 30 seconds at about 1 hit to death, and just won the fight for their team. That was over. He was so aggressive that entire time. He is really putting the team on his back right now because that fight seemed lost. Even after the pick-off of Prolly, it looked like everyone was going to be going down. It looked like JD Wu was too tanky. It looked like Chris was unstoppable. But Demon Lol maneuvered around amazingly. I couldn't believe when he jumped over the wall there, finished off Cho'Gath, and then just 1v1 Sona. Amazing Ezreal play by Demon Lol.
And he was so low on mana for the whole fight, low on mana, low on hit points. He was not involved in just staying off pure distance. And honestly, you got to give credit to Nothing here because he was kind of kiting them away from Demon Lol the whole time. Very great, good macro. But if that fight would have gone on a little bit longer, probably would have been back.
It was an incredibly drawn-out fight, and
it's the Warmogs.
It is a little bit of the Warmogs. Not many of them are doing huge amounts of damage to each other. The one thing that happened in that fight, though, is Nothing here, and Demon Lol really dove onto Echo, so by the end of it, it was 180 carry versus no 80 carries between Azure and Dirtnap Gaming. And that fight really just illustrated how close this game has actually become. Now both teams almost scared of going in on each other. Prolly has to stop getting caught in those situations because with him getting caught, it was a close fight. So if he can just keep safe and allow the Stand United home guard Shen to initiate for them, they should still have the upper hand.
And it was a flash Rune Prison backed with Paranoia as well that called him out there. So I guess Shouster's probably going to wait for that flash to be back up before they go the full engage. Although they are pushing up towards the turret. They realize that Prolly is up the top there. Stand United is available should Shen want to come in for this one, but Chris is not going to bother. Echo is actually getting a lot of shots on towards the backside of Lambo. They have to use a Shurelius to back away. Baron also respawned while all that fight was going on.
They know that they have DJ Lambo at half health, so they might look to press some pressure right here. They know Chris is split pushing. They don't have a full way of dealing with it. There's no teleport available on Olaf if they decide to try to match Shen's split push. This could be a dangerous situation for Azure.
Let's see whether JD Woo's going to try and tank out this turret. He has got that bulwark, of course, very tanky indeed. You see he's flecking around. True Shot Barrage does go out to try and clear that wave out. So if you're going to have to tank it, you're going to have to do it for much longer, and they do choose to back away. They're going to rotate around towards Chris, so the blue buff has spawned. Can they try and take this one away? Nothing here's about to walk around. Did catch a glimpse, though, threw out that axe, and it is going to be the blue buff. Can they manage to get it away? No, the charm lands on nothing here. Nothing going to come from it, though, and they back away with a successful steal.
Surprised they didn't want to fight in that corridor. That would have been sweet spots for ruptures, taunts, and crescendos galore. They're just going to take the blue buff as the advantage, go back and take the dragon, and continue to try to build this one.
Trying to build their advantages. They do have that gold advantage. It is so close. This is the first game of the day of the Season 3 North American Qualifiers. Day 3, it is the knockout day. Last chance Sunday. One team is going to go through. That is all that is left now in Season 3. 7 teams already there. 17-17 in kills, 3-3 in turrets, and just 3,000 gold. That is not a great deal spread across a team of 5 players. And honestly, most of it currently is stacked on Demon Lol for Azure Gaming. You can see 12,000 gold on him, 10,000 on nothing here. 12,000 plus on Chris as well. And well, you can see the 2 AD carries. So you can see 4 members in 5 figures currently for Dirtnap Gaming. That's where the difference starting to stack.
So a little bit of a strange choice there. Chris picked up a Tiamat on Shen. Maybe looking to do a little bit more damage. They are catching people in fairly good AoEs. Now has an active on it. This is the first Tiamat we've seen all tournament. I still would have expected him to just get even tankier, maybe build a Randwin's Omen, but we'll see how that Tiamat turns out for him.
He's just doing a lot of damage, continuing to split buff. Is he just going to maybe clear them waves so much quicker? I'm not too sure. I'm guessing it's going to get turned into a Hydra.
It might be. That's a 4,000 gold worth of offensive items on pretty much a pure tank, so it would be...
Well, he's not really the target, so it's like maybe it's like we saw Mega Zero last night. We just saw him, you know, he wasn't the target anymore, so why not just get some damage?
It could be what he's doing. Pretty much Prawley's been the target in all these, and he's the one who started to build defensive items, picking up that Guardian Angel finally.
Oh, the positioning. Bloodwater's ward there, I think, just saved his life. He just snuck up there to put that ward down while the rest of Dirtnap Gaming were coming down. And Azure not quite ready for this fight. They do have teleport up on nothing here, which he could go into any of those positions. And really, both teams trying to do the same thing. But Dirtnap Gaming is saying, you know what, we're going to come around the backside of you. Here comes Chrissy. Oh, he catches a full shadow dash across the team. Shouster was the target. DJ Lambert's gone very deep, too deep, in fact. True Shot Barrage comes across. DJ Lambert is going to get taken down. Now nothing here is already down to half health. Shouster's just hanging off the side there. Demon Lord trying to get towards Prolly. Stan United just adds so much to Crescendo on towards Bloodwater. Chris is taken very low. He might get dropped. No, he won't, because it's only Bloodwater doing the damage. They're still trying to kite on towards Prophet and Prolly, but the damage dealers are still there, and it's just Shouster left now. Guardian Angels was popped, but Shouster cannot take him down. He's got no more cooldowns left. He just tries to come out, but he got silenced, and Dirtnap Gaming come out. They're 4 for 3. 4 for 2.
That fight just showed how close this game really is. That was a pretty good initiation by Dirtnap Gaming, but it was a good counter initiation as well. That was just a brawl through and through. Demon Low barely got taken down. He was about a second away from being able to wipe the floor of Dirtnap Gaming, but they finished him off. JD Wu landed a good silence on him. Chris almost died on that one with that Tiamat build. I was going to go into a speech about he needed more defensive items, but he made it through. He lived. They finished off the fight. Warmog's armor after that fight being completed onto Echo, so he will have much more survivability against the diving Olaf, throwing that true damage down onto him. This is going to be a really awesome finish. I expect them both to start doing the Baron Boogie quite shortly.
And that Guardian Angel seemed to be paying dividends on Prolly. He kind of knew he was the dive bomb target. He had only just picked it up, but it is going to be unavailable, I feel, for by the time we come around to the next Baron fight, so he's going to have to be a much more careful. It was the Phantom Dance he chose to go with instead of the Last Whisper, instead of the Static Shiv. Interesting choice between the two. Kind of seems to be personal preferences.
It also has to do with fulfilling your character's weaknesses. Ezreal doesn't have the best wave clear, but Graves already does
ward
in those situations, so you build the Shiv to get some AoE on Ezreal. And I want to just point out the way that Prawley is doing these team fights, and the Hydra from Chris. But Prawley used his DFG and all of his dashes defensively. He was trying to kill the tank line of Azure Gaming, as now they're trying to bait out an approach. Bloodwater had that Oracles, but they still didn't clear out the wards on the outside of Baron, so they know they're in there. this could be very bad if Dirtnap Gaming goes into the Baron Pit and tries to fight here.
They come around, there's Bloodwater, tries to get the Gliddans across, but there's immediately a great taunt straight across the team. Nothing here is going to dive on towards Echo at the back there. Crescendo comes across, but it doesn't matter. He's got the Ragnarok running. Profit taken down very low, as is Echo. They've dived on towards DJ Lambo, on towards Echo just down the bottom there. He should get taken down. He's surviving because Stand United was used. Prolly, meanwhile, is taken down. Shouster in the top there, and now Nothing here's turned tank. It's Demon Law should get the kill on towards Profit. Prolly goes through the bushes. Demon Law slowly torn. Is he going to get charmed? No, he's not. Demon Law gets the kill. They're still desperately backing away though. JD Wu, Echo and Chris still available. There's a lot of damage right there, and Chris is going to come around, and they just battered them away. It's a 2-for-2. Close engage still.
These fights are going to continue to be crazy. I want to highlight something that happened a little bit off camera there. Prolly pretty much took on 3 people. He kept Demon Law out of that fight, and thank God he did, because if Demon Law would have been free to take down the rest of the fight where Dirtnap Gaming was going, that would have been a win for Azure, and they would have taken the Baron afterwards. So a really good job by Prolly's Ahri keeping that fight close.
Kept it just alive around the side there. He's got yet more damage. There's another needlessly large rod in there, so almost certainly they're out. Zhonya's Hourglass will be next, which will kind of bait them into a really diving for him. And it's been DJ Lambo that's been lunging in there along with Nothing here. Their kind of primary target switched it now. They're going for Echo more than Prolly.
It really seems like that's the case. They're just trying to make sure that's who the threats are at this point, right? Triple damage items onto Echo. His damage has been multiplying so much. He's the one who picked up that triple kill, and it's a matter of the split focus, though, at that point, because Prolly is still taking out their backline pretty well. Also, the Mercurial Scimitar popped up on Demon Law, so he's going to be able to dodge out of the area of effect AoE that keeps hitting them with the Ruptures and the Crescendos, making him even more threatening right now.
The red buff being given across to Echo. Dragon is available. Pings go down. Dirtnap Gaming going to head towards it. They've built themselves up a 7,000 gold advantage over Azure here. And it has been very much a hard-fought advantage they've had to work for. Of course, the Oracle's on Profit. He did survive in that last fight, I believe. Actually, tell a lie. I think he went down, so he's just rebought that Oracle's. There's the Dragon, though. And that's going to keep their gold advantage just topped off. And Chris split push seems to slowly but surely be working the gold advantages for them.
They have been accumulating quite a gold advantage throughout all of this. They've been picking up more of the dragons. They were the team to get the only Baron. They have the 1 turret advantage, and because Nothing here's teleport is on a much longer cooldown than Chris's Stand United, the split pushing has very much been in their favor. But even with this increasing gold advantage, the fights are still close. I'm not sure when they're going to make it over the edge, but it's very close. I would say Dirtnap has a fairly substantial edge here. If they win another fight, it might be enough to turn it. But if Azure Gaming wins a fight, they might need to win a couple before they can take control of the game.
So Profit has cleared out the Baron Pit of all wards, which immediately we see that they are pinging. Bloodwater's going to try and get in there. Nothing here down the bottom. He's going to push that wave. Look, the top is going to be Chris. He's going to shove that wave along. And Bloodwater trying desperately to get in towards that Baron Pit to try and get a ward down. Profit was well aware, and he clears that out. So completely blind right now are Azure Gaming to the Baron Pit. They are well aware that somebody's trying to get in there. As another ward gets podied down. Now Dirtnap Gaming begin the Baron. Let's see if they're going to stick to this one and whether they're going to peel away. They're going to force the teleport from Nothing here. He hasn't gone yet because down the bottom is Chris as well, and they realize they're going to back off from this one. Stand United is available as and when they need it. They caught the Charmer towards Bloodwater. They might be able to catch him with the Rupture. Missed though, and they're going to back out straight away. True Shot Barrage came down, and the ultimate also used by Shouster. That's on a really quick cooldown though. Nobody currently going to waste it. Profit can top off his team. Bloodwater not quite. We do see Nothing here starting to head back up.
He's making a run for it, saving his teleport. It seems like he's going to be able to get there in time. Dirtnap Gaming mainly poking off there, and they catch DJ!
Completely caught out of position. The Charm hit down. That makes it a 4v5 fight instantly. Chris, Stand United straight in there, and now they're going to go for Baron. They realize they can force it. There is no smite to steal this one away. If they're going to go for it, they have to come full force into the pit.
There's the taunt, here it comes!
There you go, Chris manages to get across. He caught him towards Demon Law. They switch to Shouster. Shouster now with the GA. He's going to get it popped any moment. Chris is just keeping himself in between the front line. He's blocking off anything that they try to throw at him. Demon Law can't quite get close. Profit comes in, gets a great crescendo across the team, but his Bloodwater does get away. Shouster has been taken out. Now it's a 3v5. They're really going to have fight hard for this Baron.
And Demon Law and Nothing here really have to they're giving it up. They decided to give up the Baron. It's probably the right call. Great picks. The big thing that won all of that for them was the ward placed in the tri-brush above the Baron pit. That's how they saw DJ Lambo was trying to sneak around. Azure was going to try to pull an initiation off on them, but it really backfired on them because of that ward.
Yeah, one simple ward placement. DJ Lambo, all they were trying to do is just sneak a ward into the pit. They wanted to get some little bit of vision in there. They knew it was going to happen, but they had to take that risk. And well, that's how quick it can happen. Once you get one pick off there, and of course, don't forget the Guardian Angels was popped on Showster. That's not going to be available for the next fight either. So effectively, they got 3 for nothing in that fight, and nothing here. He is very tanky, but he's starting to become less of a problem for the rest of Dirtnap Gaming.
I actually want to take another look at this last fight as they're about to initiate outside of the Baron pit. They just see him with the ward. It's the charm from Prawley. That's been what they've needed to try to get this entire time. You saw he had the ward. There were no wards inside the Baron pit from Azure.
No wards at all, but you can see that this is where they tried to come in.
And at this point, it was the
low.
flash taunt gets Demon Lord. They burned his scimitar in that, which meant later in the fight when they had the flash crescendo, he wasn't able to get out of it. It's really just a matter of them being too big, and Chris having that 16,000 gold on Shen, just dominating them in here. You can see he's just completely taking on Demon Lord by himself, out-carrying him in a sense.
Out-carrying him, and he has got a lot of damage. We talked about the Hydra that he got on early on. He's now got the Phage. Probably going to turn out to a Frozen Mallet.
Probably.
Could he go for Trinity Force? Is he going to go full damage?
You know what? The fact that he's sitting on 2,200 gold tells me he is going for Trinity Force. Because if he was going for a Frozen Mallet, he would have transitioned it already. Bigger damage. He wants to pretty much be able to solo Demon Lord because he's close to it already.
He's able to get around there. Probably actually caught out here. Are they going to turn it? Zonya's Hourglass comes in. Nothing here, though. Gets in the front line. That Zonya's paying dividends for Prolly there. He would have been a dead man otherwise. Chris, meanwhile, has taken down that bottom turret. And the deep Baron up team, Prolly, just going to get himself that life steal back. And they're going to clear out the blue wall.
It's going to be about how Dirtnap Gaming finishes this one. Everyone still has the Baron buff for just under 2 more minutes. They have one outer turret still in the top lane. They might go up and finish that one off while Chris split pushes the bottom. It's a lot of pressure they need to apply right here, but they've been consistently winning fights for about the last 25 minutes. That has to be weighing on Azure Gaming's mindset and confidence when going in. There's just so much chained crowd control that Dirtnap Gaming has been able to throw down. The crescendos and the taunts have really been so on point for Dirtnap Gaming. I mean, we were talking with them earlier. Prawley and Prophet make the majority of the calls. Prophet more overall strategy, but Prawley more when to fight and how. They've been doing a really good job so far in this game.
They're just going to take down the final inner turret. So that is 6 turrets now for Dirtnap Gaming. All lanes being pushed. And Dirtnap Gaming rotate round. They walk straight past the ward there, actually. But of course, the Oracle no longer on Prophet. Has run out of time. They're going to go towards the middle. They're just going to straight up fight this one. Chris is going to tank a lot of the damage. Fear coming out. Doesn't really matter. He actually walked in the right direction. Chris goes back in once again. Takes a lot more damage. They're slowly but surely poking out the turret. Here they go. They're going to go for it. Azure Gaming. This is a last chance saloon. They're trying to dive in. DJ Lambo taken down so low. The Shadow Dash caught 3 members of the team. Nothing here. Has to Ragnarok away. Shouster gets caught out. Crescendo hitting them team. And Prolly does manage to pick up that kill. Turning towards the inhibitor. The rest of the team just simply blocking all the damage so Echo could do his work at the top there. Demon Lord desperately trying to lug this team across the bridge. Instead, no. He's been caught with a max length Shadow Death. Demon Lord taken down. You can see that Chris could simply 1v1 in there. Prolly did manage to catch the damage, but Dirtnap Gaming take the advantage. Back away. Another stack on the top, Jan.
So much of this has been about just JD Wu blocking Demon Lord's Mystic shots from the rest of the team and just trying to take him out of it. They're not allowing Demon Lord to carry this game. They're killing everyone else. DJ Lambo is getting exploded by Prolly's Deathfire Grasp when he jumps in, and they just continue to land these AoE crowd controls. 3v5, continuing the push.
The charm once again. It's going to be, it's going to be a Stan United with the home guard boots as well. He's going to get straight on towards nothing here. Nothing here popped up. He'd already used his Ragnarok a while ago. Feasted Demon Lord. That is it. Game over. Dirtnap Gaming are going to take game 1. There's no way they're going to come back from this one. They've just lost the man that's carried them through the entire game. And there you can see Shouster's already left the game. Reset your minds. Get yourself ready. for Game 2. Dirtnap Gaming, it was a hard-fought victory, but it is a victory nonetheless, and they are one game away from moving into the finals.
They were the #1 seed coming out of their group. Unfortunately lost yesterday. They